The Dallas Stars played an absolutely fantastic game, defeating the Winnipeg Jets 3-1 in their home barn to take a commanding, also 3-1 series lead. Tonight it was Mikael Granlund with an amazing hat trick. Another Finnish star on the Dallas Stars gets it done against the Winnipeg Jets, and the Jets really just failed to take off tonight. What does that mean? Why did they fail to take off? Well, quite simply, Jets fans, they had a hot start for the first two periods, but they couldn't score. And that has been the story of the Winnipeg Jets in this series. In my humble opinion, it is overshadowed Connor Hellebuyck as far as I see it. The Dallas Stars defense, the Dallas Stars forecheck, and the Dallas Stars ability to counterpunch and put it in the back of the net has beat Winnipeg at every turn so far in this series. Winnipeg starts off this game hot, but Jake Oettinger calms it down and settles it down. You need your goalie to stand on his head for the first 5 to 10 minutes of a game. That will flip a game for a team. It doesn't matter how many chances the other side gets. If your goalie closes the door on them early, that gives your offense motivation. It pushes your team forward, and I think that's exactly what happened to Dallas tonight. So Jake Oettinger, Mikael Granlund, great, fantastic game. Miro Heiskanen returns to the Stars, so the Stars are finally fully healthy going forward. Dallas Stars players, fans, coaches alike are going to be thrilled with this one. He is one of the best premier defensemen in the NHL today, and they are looking scary at full strength, especially with Oettinger playing as well as he did. Winnipeg's tactics tonight worked for a bit of the game. They were heavily physical, very physical team. They hit Mikko Rantanen and the rest of the Dallas Stars every opportunity that they got. And they even tied the game 1-1. But I said before this game started that whoever got the first goal was likely going to win this game. And the first goal that went in, Mikael Granlund, wow, what a shot. But also, Connor Hellebuyck? Come on, man. It's really tough to not talk about Connor Hellebuyck. And there are going to be two schools of Jets fans. You're going to let me know what you think down below in the comments. And Stars fans, I want you to pipe up loud and clear like you have been in the comments. It's been awesome having you guys here. It's nothing but love on this channel, regardless of who we cheer for. We know where my bias lies, where my hometown heart lies. But guess what? Gotta call the game the way I see it. Connor Hellebuyck, the greatest goalie in the regular season. Vezina, Hart nominee. Like, come on. The guy's the man in the regular season. And then you get to the playoffs, and there was a stat before the game that this is the worst a goaltender has played since the 50s in the NHL playoffs. That's not acceptable. And it's never just a goalie. A goalie is an individual. That's why these guys take on the task. They like the game within the game that is being a goalie, but it's also a team game. And no matter what, I go back to my first point. The Dallas Stars have taken away the Jets' opportunity to score. Guys who are used to scoring, the number one scoring first line in the NHL, the Scheifele line, gone, neutered by the Dallas Stars and their team defense, their fantastic goaltender being a part of it. Kyle Connor, snake bit again. And the narrative will start in Winnipeg if this series is over, but it's far from over. That guys like Kyle Connor, Nikolaj Ehlers, they got to show up in the playoffs. That train, it'll start leaving the station. It'll pick up momentum. It is what it is. We'll address it later if required. But for right now, don't take your eyes off the prize. Game 4 is the hardest game to win in the NHL. Closing out a series is always difficult. I don't care if the stats say nobody's come back from a 3-1 deficit in the last 2 years. It happens. This is why we play a 7-game series. There is always hope. There is always a will. There is always a way. This is not a 5-game series, but it was a very important game for Dallas, and it was a very important game for Winnipeg. Scheifele, Connor, entering the zone. This puck needs to go in the back of the net, and this just starts Jake Oettinger's greatness. Here is Kyle Connor with a little bit of swagger. Beautiful move. Gets through the legs. That's fine. Doesn't happen. Gets broken up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a premier defenseman in Miro Heiskanen, body to body. Connor wins this battle. That's weird because, you know, Kyle Connor winning battles is just different. I'm not knocking Connor yet, but I will talk about it. But it's Heiskanen's first shift back. Scheifele makes an unbelievable read, and he comes in for the puck support on the right side. He comes in on Kyle Connor's forehand side. Offensively, this is a really good tactic. Thomas Harley is in okay position. He's between the puck and his goalie, so I like where Harley's at. And Scheifele wins it. that happens. You win a 3-on-2. Velarde comes in. If you win a 3-on-2 and you're the 2, you should get a premier chance, and they do. Velarde coming in here, the goalie is deep in his net. You can see it. Otter is just, you got to score on this one. But no, he comes in and fires a rocket, and look how fast Oettinger gets to the top of the circle and takes it away. And you are going to see through my analysis for the rest of the day that he comes out and challenges and takes it away extremely quickly. And the slight hesitation, there was a slight hesitation there from Velarde. You'll see it all game from other Jets players, gives him the time he needs to cover those valuable feet. That puck's got to be on your stick, off your stick, in the back of the net. Soon as that save was made, sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. If you're a Dallas Stars fan, that's like the get out of your seat, let's go boys kind of save. I think right then and there, 4 minutes into it, that was game changing. Dallas Stars, Granlund on the power play. Absolutely filthy moves. He's got great hands, and he's got an even better shot. He's able to get around Brandon Tanev because Brandon Tanev skates at him in a straight line, and that's okay. What Tanev did to pressure is fine. What's wrong here is that you have 3 Winnipeg Jets on the line. In my opinion, that is the poorest way to play a penalty kill here. Why is everybody backing in and giving gap at this point in time? You give away gap like this, and you lose a guy like Brandon Tanev. He cannot check if he doesn't have puck support, and you need puck support regardless of being down a man. So you needed a guy to be able to pressure in this moment here. This is the moment. Puck support needs to come in and pressure. He's off balance. There's a whole bunch of things happening, but no, it's not there. Granlund enters the zone, and what we see again, this is way too wide of a gap by Neil Pionk. Way too wide. Nemestikov, all right, whatever, we're doing something, but this gap is just massive. All that's going to happen here is one of two things. A player is going to drop a puck, or a player is going to enter the zone. He chooses to enter the zone, and like I said, that gap from Pionk was way too big, and because that gap is way too big, he is disguising the shot right now. There are so many options here, and he's so freaking good at this. So he's in a shooter's position, but he also has the ability to drop the puck. Tiny bit of a screen here for Hellebuyck, but I'm sorry, this is an inexcusable shot to let in if you are a Vezina-winning goalie 10 minutes into a game trying to win it. Bang, beats him over the pad, under the glove. And you can see it here as we zoom in. There are a lot of things you can do from this position with a stick. It's a deadly position to keep your stick. You can lean into it. You can pivot. You can change. There are just so many things you can do. So Granlund, fantastic hands, better shot. He snaps it through. And I mean, Hellebuyck can see this puck. He can see it. There's no question. And he gets down into a really awkward spot, and it beats him in a place that just has a hole. And I get it. You're taking angles. But you heard me say it before when it comes to goaltending. There's regular season goaltending and playoff goaltending. In the regular season, statistically speaking, take all the study books you want, you're holding a good angle. But in the playoffs, you got to play with a little more instinct. You got to understand who has the puck. You have to challenge it a little bit better. There is the argument to make that this is just a shooter shot, and it is his night, but it is hard for me to find that conclusion when this is dragged on for the entirety of the playoffs, including last year. But like I said, I don't think it's all on him. I think his offense needs to help him a lot more. A phenomenal goal by Granlund. 6-6 shot. There's more to come. Jets go into the second period on a power play. They were 0-3 tonight because of how good the penalty kill was from Dallas. We broke it down last game. Aggressive triangle. They do not wait. They pressure, and they force you to make mistakes. And Winnipeg has 1 power play goal in the last 3 games, and I think they had 11, so this would make it 14. I believe they're 1 out of 14. Unacceptable if you're going to win a cup, unless you're the 2011 Boston Bruins, who did it without scoring a power play goal of the finals. But that's an oddity. And here starts the weird night and the weird thoughts that I had about Kyle Connor all night. We'll see if the eye test pass as I go ahead and look at the highlights here. But to me, when this shot goes in, I don't think you can stand over here. I think this is post-turtle zone. Remember, for those of you that are new, a post turtle is a turtle on a post. It can't get itself on the post. It doesn't know how it got on the post, and it can't get itself off the post. It's completely useless. By the way, if I ever catch you putting a turtle on a post, you are an absolute maniac, and it isn't cool. So don't be a post turtle, and don't put turtles on posts. Kyle Connor's a post turtle here. He's in dangerous territory of it. Get to where the square is. You've got to anticipate and read the puck. I don't believe, and what do I know? Kyle Connor's a 40-goal scorer. I don't believe you're going to get goals from this shot. Josh Morrissey shoots. There's a high tip here. Okay, that's fine. You got 2 players in front of the net. I always believe as soon as that puck goes out there, you have to collapse in a lot closer if you're both of these guys, because you have to have an opportunity to find a rebound. And looky where that puck is. It's to a spot where it is now a 50-50 puck for Winnipeg, and that isn't the place you want to be. You got to put yourself in a place to not be 50-50 on pucks. So really good job here. Look at the aggression from the Dallas Stars killers. They push in, life and limb, and it doesn't matter because they disrupt Connor enough to finish the power play. They battle to the point of exhaustion, Winnipeg picks it up, and through all the passing and everything that goes on with 1 second left on the power play, they score. They did it. Oh, it's not a power play goal because it's 1 second after, but they got one. Huzzah! Life is good again. And it's a beautiful little goal, but this is something that I don't think a penalty kill can ever take away. And this is just the point of the game and why I made the point that one power play goal out of 14, and you can put an asterisk on this one if you want, is unacceptable because pucks like this have to go in if you're going to win a series. Take a look at where Nick Ehlers is looking. Fantastic look off here. Very similar to what we saw with Granlund disguising it using stick tactics. You can disguise it using your eyes as well too. And I think Jake Oettinger is doing the opposite of what Connor Hellebuyck is doing. He's reading and anticipating better. Connor Hellebuyck is playing the percentages. Oettinger is playing with feel. We said that about Jordan Binnington last game. And that little disguise was just enough because you can see here, he's in a full shooting position. And this is the talent of Nick Ehlers. He's a very talented player. He's still in the position to make the pass. That puck is about to release off the stick at this point. And he doesn't even look at the goalie until the puck is gone. Now he's looking at the goalie, and that puck beats Oettinger on the short side. And I guarantee you his goalie coach and Jake and Otter himself, well, Jake is Otter. I just like saying Otter. They're going to want that one back. But great shot by Nick Ehlers, great deceptive play, counts as a 5-on-5 though. And here's where it starts to go downhill for Winnipeg and uphill if you're the Stars. You've got Heiskanen out there. I mean, he's the man, the myth, the legend. As you're playing it through, take a look here. Iafallo, Morrissey, Connor, Scheifele. And Scott Arniel mixed his lines around. We're going to talk about the mixing of Mikko Rantanen in the lines right after this, but let's just take a look at the shot. Iafallo drives to the outside, and what you end up seeing here on the drive to the outside is where most goals in the playoffs happen. I've broken down every goal that has gone in, and this is something that screams to me this is going to be a goal. And why does it scream to me? Because you have two Dallas Stars down low. You're caught. You have numbers by the Winnipeg Jets, and you're about to take the puck from low to high, which is a goalie's kryptonite. Anytime you move from low to high across the Royal Road or tips in front of the net, those are your best opportunities to score. It squirts out and it goes to the Winnipeg Jets' best goal scorer, Kyle Connor. And Oettinger, he's completely out of position on this one. He has so much net to shoot at. 40 goal scorer, you need him to bury in and do it. And Oettinger beats him. He just beats him. And we're going to see examples of that all night. But you need your best to show up. And KFC, he didn't show up and do what he is required to do. Somebody has to be the trigger man and put those pucks in the net. Oettinger beats Connor, takes it away. All part of team defense, like I said. Line mixing, coaches. Scott Arniel, rookie coach right now in the NHL, longtime coach. Peter DeBoer, genius coach as well too. Both these guys are very intelligent. You don't win a President's Trophy without being a good coach. So both of them get an A+ grade this season for me. Mikael Granlund has been moved through all lines. Peter DeBoer is a mad scientist. He moves them into line 4, into line 1. It's like, we're going to send line 2. You sit, Granlund go. Rantanen rest. We're going to send line 4. Okay, 4 go, great. Send line 1, Rantanen join line 1. This gets superstars going. This does not work most of the time. I have coached plenty of superstars, kids that have made it to the NHL at all levels. Sometimes people just don't gel. Rantanen is a special exception and a very special player. We can see that. So he's getting him touches everywhere he goes, and that causes chaos for Winnipeg, especially because they don't have the home ice advantage change here. So you can't get Adam Lowry on him. Winnipeg did their best putting players in a blender to keep Peter DeBoer on his toes, if you will, for his line changing. But frankly, if you could go back, look, President Trophy winning coach, I have no complaints about Scott Arniel. I wouldn't have done that. I would have stuck with the lines that took me to the dance. Unfortunately, you don't get the privilege of line matching when you're the away team. There are a lot of great ways coaches can sneak that through. Me and my staff have worked on it forever, and I have one that is phenomenal at doing that, just getting the matchups he wants even though we're away. But I digress. Winnipeg doesn't have a Mikael Granlund that should go on every line. I don't believe personally that Winnipeg should have been blending, but you let me know what you think down below. I think DeBoer out-coached Arniel on this one. I think he's out-coached him in the series, but it doesn't mean Arniel's a bad coach. It just means they're both world-class. The second part to my rant is checking lines. I always prefer scoring third line for the simple threat that you can't plan for it. Florida has the Lundell Marchand line. Nothing you can do about that line. They're deep. The Wyatt Johnson line, the third line, it's not a third line. It's a scoring third line. And if you consider them the second line, then you move the Sagan line back to the third line. Either way, they have three very deep lines that can score, and they get Rantanen going on all of them because they have three really deep centers. Winnipeg doesn't have that luxury. They have a line that is supposed to take away the line's best. But what do you do when you have three lines that can beat you? Well, the answer is your other lines need to win. So you're not going to have a scoring third line. They're going to be able to take away whoever they're playing with at that moment, but then you need your second and your first line to outplay the other team's second and first line. You're not always going to get the matchups you want. And frankly, it just hasn't worked yet for the Winnipeg Jets. The Stars lines have just been better in all areas, in all matchups. Game still in Winnipeg's control here at this point in the second period. Perfetti's going to go down. And what you end up seeing is three Jets down low on the 1-2-2. So here's your 1, here's your 2, here's your 2. And you're just trying to read and react. Which way is the puck going to go? And whichever direction it goes, the opposing player is going to release and go to that wall. That's the whole point of a 1-2-2. That puck ends up going up this wall. And frankly, I love Nino Niederreiter, but he's looked slow in these playoffs. Nino has to get back here and cover the pinching defenseman on a 1-2-2. That's the whole point, like I said. But he made this really long path, and he's not fast to begin with. So I don't like the angle that he took. And you guys have heard me say how darn aggressive they are. Well, guess what? The puck's at the top. Normally, you would have three defenders back. If you were Dallas, no way. They're going to put all three here, and he's even looking to leave the zone. This is the Dallas Stars' aggressive forecheck, and forechecks can happen at any end of the ice. You don't have the puck, you forecheck. And that aggressive forecheck works. It pays off for them in spades. Look, now you've got numbers. You've trapped three Winnipeg Jets behind the play. Nino's out of the play, and you're ready to go. That turns into a beautiful 2-on-1. Samberg's in trouble here, and to me, Samberg has to make a choice. I understand it's Granlund. He's the shooter. So either you have to force the pass and realize you have the shooter on the play, or you've got to go ahead over here and take away the pass. You can't sit in the middle and just hope. I know a lot of defensemen do it. I know a lot of you guys see the laydown, and they try to wait as long as they humanly possibly can, but I think you got to give yourself and your goalie a chance to get set up. Granlund comes in. Here comes the slide. You all know I don't like the slide. I don't think it's very good. But here we go. Look at that stick position for Granlund. Look at his body position, guys. I know I'm using arrows. I should use lines, but you get it. That body position says I can pass this or I can shoot it. I have two choices. And Connor Hellebuyck, to me, not a good angle on this one. Like, I look at the angle he's facing here, and I just see nothing but net behind him on the short side. And you shouldn't get beat on the short side. I don't believe you should. Granlund steps in, whips that puck, bang, up and over Connor Hellebuyck, who is heavily deep in his crease. Again, we've talked about this before. And the shooter scores. That's his second goal of the night, the second on the way to a hat trick. He is such a darn good and dangerous player. Look, Winnipeg's forecheck doesn't turn over the puck. 2-1-2, not good enough. Nino, bad angle. But instead of talking about the Jets, how about we talk about the aggression that is the Dallas Stars? No panic. Three guys to the top. They want the puck more than Winnipeg. Their systems are beating Winnipeg. Their players are beating Winnipeg to the puck. They are trusting their skill. And guess what? Here's the kicker. If that puck gets past the three people, right here, that puck gets past these three Stars, and all of a sudden you have odd numbers down here, they don't care. They just don't care. And they shouldn't, because Jake Oettinger is playing 10 out of 10 good. That is what Winnipeg is supposed to have with Connor Hellebuyck as well. When you have elite goalies, think Carey Price, you are allowed to press because your goalie will take away any mistakes you make on that press so you can press for goals. Dallas is the most aggressive team at sending 2 and 3 on pucks. We've talked about it all series, and they are beating Winnipeg with it, period. The goalie isn't doing his job on the other end compared to the goalie on the Stars end, and they're getting beat in the forecheck by the Dallas Stars, and the decision-making isn't good enough, but the Dallas Stars just beat them. There's two narratives there. And I am walking a very thin line because fans of the Stars want to hear how great their team is, and fans of Winnipeg want to hear, why is my team losing? Well, I think the simple answer is the Dallas Stars are executing better in their system and their goalie's playing better. There you go. Hopefully we saw it there. Dallas Stars power play, Winnipeg Jets penalty kill. This is the moment that changed everything. This is that high sticking play. And remember, like I said before, Winnipeg, after that challenge in the last game they lost that they deflated, well, another goal came in, and I feel immediately after this penalty, I feel they deflated again. You got to be able to step up to the playoffs, and here I can see Lowry, I can see DeMello. If you kill this penalty, it is a huge momentum shifter for anybody. Remember, Edmonton killed a 5-minute against Vegas, went on to win the game. You've got to be able to kill these penalties. Wow, Vegas killed a 5-minute against Edmonton after Nick Waugh cross-checked him in the face and went on to win the game. Woo, caught myself there. I don't always catch myself on all of them. Caught myself there. You got to kill penalties, though, is the point to get out of here. Both guys get aggressive on the play. And you can see here, Winnipeg has an opportunity to turn the puck over. And here's the difference between Dallas and Winnipeg. Nemestikov, if he was a Stars player, would have been in there and aggressive. And Pionk would have been up higher. They would have sent everybody to get that puck. That is the key to the Dallas Stars penalty kill. Winnipeg is a little bit more passive. And to me, all that ends up happening here is the power play of the Stars is allowed to go to work because you have a 2-on-2, and now you're leaving it with a 3-on-2 down low. You never want to give up numbers on the kill. It is so much worse if you go 1-for-1, 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 you're out of players and it's a 1-on-0. The whole goal of a power play is to go 1-for-1, 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 and beat them with a 2-on-1. That's your goal. So it's like chess. Take your queen for my queen, your rook for my rook, your knight for my knight. Great. I'm down now to a bishop, and a bishop goes in the back of the net because all you got left is a pawn. I don't know if anyone followed that. Let me know. If you didn't follow it, you get to see it here. Winnipeg gets trapped on the side of the ice, and because they are trapped due to their aggressiveness, now you are wide open and you are going to have two opportunities to score here. You're going to have the initial shot or the initial bump out, and we all know what happens here. It's a direction change again. Winnipeg is caught shifting. Hellebuck's in good position. Puck goes off the post. Amazing shot by Duchesne. But frankly, because the penalty killers had to move so far over into this position, they're already momentumly moving one way. When the puck comes back this way, which it will, it is very hard to change directions and go back that other way. It's like a tennis match. You get them going left and right until you finally smash the ball in on them. It ends up getting up to the point here. Winnipeg's in disarray. Heiskanen moves it over to Granlund. There's nothing you can do. There's always a player laying down when a goal's going to go in. Bang, they beat Bucky short side for the Hattie. Unbelievable power play. That's the whole point to a power play. Take them 1-for-1 till you get down to a 2-on-1, or get them moving so quickly from left to right with length and width that they cannot keep up, and eventually they're out of position and you're going to score. Plus those angle changes on the goalie are absolutely deadly. And that would be it. That would be the game. Winnipeg had two good periods, but not good enough. They got goalied by Otter. They got beaten by team defense. Power play, not good enough in my opinion. And they weren't finding opportunities to score. Kyle Connor had plenty of opportunities on the back door in order to put pucks in. There was at least 5. When your best goal scorer isn't putting it in, you're in trouble. On Dallas, when their best goal scorer wasn't scoring, Rantanen, it was Granlund that stepped up. Nobody stepped up on Winnipeg because they were taken away of time and space. I was nervous about it in the team preview for Winnipeg, and it confirms what we talked about in our series preview, that the hyper aggression of the Stars forecheck is a lot to handle. It is a very good, dedicated team to their system, and they have the personnel to affect it, and they have enough superstars on all ends of the puck to do damage when you make a mistake. So Dallas has a death grip on this series at this point right now, but stranger things have happened. There's no point in giving up hope. If Winnipeg folds like a cheap tent, that is not the sign of a team ready for the playoffs, and they'll have to retool and come back next year. But I expect them to put out a better effort next game. When you back an animal into the corner, they usually bite, so Dallas should be ready for a dog who has been backed into the corner and is ready to bite. That is how Winnipeg has to play now. There's nothing left to lose. Throw everybody you can in the kitchen sink at it. Do not play with fear. Get everything out of your mind and play. And Dallas just has to continue doing what they're doing. I'm so interested to see what's going to happen in the next game. Guys, I will catch you later for the next one. On the weekend, I hate to say it, I got to go out to the lake. I won't be able to do any of my game breakdowns. I have videos in the queue for you to get your HGS fix, but please don't hate me if I don't get to cover the end of this series. I will be back for round 3.